Now, more on the ramifications of the attacks in Paris last Friday. Today, the Europol director, Rob Wainwright, has said that the attacks that left 129 dead were a clear statement of intent by ISIS to export its brutal brand of terrorism to Europe. Paris, he says, was the first time that Europe had witnessed an attack similar to the 2008 assault by militants in the Indian city of Mumbai, spreading terror as they did so. Let's bring in David Lowe. He's a former Special Branch counter-terrorism officer, now an expert in terrorism at Liverpool John Moores University, and he joins us live from there. The reaction to the events of last Friday, I suppose, needs to be temperate, but it needs to be thorough, doesn't it?
Yes, it needs to be thorough. As you said, be temperate. Let's put things in perspective. I think we've seen and witnessed an awful lot of work that's gone on over the last 48 hours or so, with arrests being made in Brussels, and it's ongoing again this morning, as well as what we saw in the Saint-Denis area in Paris yesterday. And I mean, I'm speculating, but I'm looking at the numbers of arrests, and if Aboud was not there, of course, it's got to be confirmed if he is one of those who died. There's certainly been serious disruption to Islamic State cells operating in Northern Europe. But of course, this would only be a temporary gain, because it's quite obvious that Islamic State have got two theatres of conflict, one in the territory of Syria and Iraq, and the next one is globally to try and bring their terror effect throughout Europe and the rest of the world.
It's tempting, is it? As you say, we're waiting clarification. Was Aboud actually there? Did he die in that attack yesterday? But is it tempting to get carried away by that fact one way or another? Because presumably we are all still at risk from others like him.
That's right. I mean, this is the whole point in countering terrorism. Key is prevention, and of course you can never say never. So it is continually monitoring what's going on. It's quite interesting to see the developments just this week on intelligence sharing. Only yesterday, Turkey stopped 8 individuals suspected to be Islamic State from travelling to Germany. You've got America, who's promised to work even harder with French authorities. And of course, one other lesson to come out of this is, I think, while a lot of intelligence and policing has been shared, certainly throughout the European Union via Europol, and one issue was under the Treaty of Lisbon, certainly strangely enough for France and the UK, was a reluctance to have committed in the Treaty of Lisbon issues regarding intelligence obtained by the security services, so they may want to revisit this in the near future.
What do you read into the strategy of that violent attack yesterday? Whether they intend it to be that violent, of course, we don't know yet. But one of the downsides of that level of destruction, as we understand it, in that building, is that surely useful evidence, or potential useful evidence, will have been destroyed.
That's right. This is the dilemma, I think, that we're facing, and we have to, you know, and I say we as a collective, we have to make the move on the intelligence we've got now, because they could be in a state of preparedness to carry out an attack. But you're quite right what you're saying, and they will have anticipated. If you're doing a siege, normally they like some time to actually do a reconnaissance of the area, to verify from any plan details and so on, but also to expect the unexpected. And of course, these are very violent people, and I mean, it's estimated over 5,000 rounds alone was used during the events in yesterday. And you're quite right what you say. One blew themselves up. There's that evidence gone. And we don't know what other damage will be there. But it's amazing sometimes what you can find, even in the worst case where you're trying to retrieve documents from hard drives, because there'll be laptops, phones, all those things, all those pieces of equipment will be checked, certainly looking at any communications they've had.
David, we'll have to leave our conversation there. Thank you very much indeed, David Lowe. Thanks for talking to us.